whip out your bubbles. These are some high rent ones. See, the cheap bubbles are no problem. It's these high rolling German bubbles. Okay. Like I said, at one point we took 2 buses all the way from London to the Himalayas. After Woodstock in 1971, we made a terrible movie for Warner Brothers called Medicine Ball Caravan. And we went across the country with a caravan of buses with on their bumpers written, "We have come for your daughters," and sexist shit like that. And different rock and roll contingencies would fly in at different places. B.B. King actually played in that. He was the best thing in the whole movie. Joni Mitchell, Jethro Tull, there were lots of folks that participated. We appeared in Yellow Springs. The hog farm hooked up to get all our buses fixed and repaired, and the deal was we could leave anytime that we wanted to. And I remember going into Yellow Springs, Ohio. Well, first of all, after Altamont, I was asked to do security instead of Hell's Angels for a big music festival in San Luis Obispo. So I thought, wouldn't it be interesting instead of Hell's Angels to use a moat full of Jell-O? And so I began to negotiate with the Jell-O people and got huge crates of Jell-O. Then injunctions stopped this festival, and I was just stuck with about 20 cases of Jell-O. We got to Yellow Springs, and there was this beautiful B-29 turret. Somebody on the bus said, "Let's fill that sucker up with Jell-O." So we did, and in order to keep it Jell-O with the sun beating on it, we had to fill it with dry ice. And so it would go bloop, and this puff of smoke would come up, bloop, bloop. And we made this big sign, "World Peace through smoking Jell-O." And of course, needless to say, next thing you know, the students started diving in the Jell-O, they're rolling around in the Jell-O, doing all kinds of erogenous shit, and the Jell-O's flying all over the place. Okay, we get to Washington, D.C., and Alice Cooper comes on, and she, with her pike and shit, and she shoots up a flare, and then rips up a pillow to have all the feathers flying around in the flare light. And all those feathers gravitate to the Jell-O juice that stuck to the connectors for Owsley's sound chip. So you better believe I got in some deep trouble, let me tell you. I heard some hollers on that one. Okay, we end up in England doing this incredible gig with the Pink Floyd at Canterbury, outside with the fog rising. And I got to run through the little village of Bishopsbourne at 3 o'clock in the morning screaming, "The Americans are coming! Wake up! The Americans!" Henry, do wake up. Okay, these English rock and roll promoters had a benefit for us at the Roundhouse in London with Tyrannosaurus Rex and a whole bunch of other bands. And they wanted us to drive around Western Europe and spread good vibes. Doesn't that make you want to upchuck? I mean, I thought, isn't there some London charity? But they pouted, as only those limeys can pout. So we said, okay, we'll take the buses. And this was right around the time of the Pakistani flood. And Gandhi had this beautiful line that came to our attention. Gandhi said, if God were to appear to starving people, he would not dare to appear in any other form than food. Whoa. Now, we had so much media from feeding just 10,000 people a meal at Woodstock that we didn't think we could feed the starving millions, but we could embarrass large governments to get off their asses and do, my God, there's hippies doing it, we better do it better. This was the concept, right? So we set out. It took us forever, man. It took us forever. It got so cold, driving through the Atlas Mountains in Turkey, the gas froze in the tank. while we were driving, this Turkish truck driver comes by and puts some bushes under the bus, sets them on fire, and he says, "When the lines thaw, you drive like hell." Okay? It took us almost a year of incredible odysseys of stuff. When we get to Pakistan, the Hindu-Pakistani war breaks out, and we have to hang a left into Kathmandu. And then we were the first Western vehicle on the Chinese road to Pokhara. Now all the way, we're handing out the food and medical supplies to Tibetan refugee camps. And then we get to a place where no bus can go, and we start walking. And my friend Dr. Larry Brilliant does clinic, and what I, Wavy Gravy, blow bubble. I blow bubbles. And these kids have never seen a bubble before. So I blow 4 bubbles and 400 kids start chasing them across this field of reefer, all the way to the Himalayas, trying to escape to the stars as far as the eye can see. And it is so beautiful and amazing. And I got 100 miles from a light bulb to this Tibetan lamasery, and all the Tibetan lamas are inside. And so I go in the courtyard where I meet this young boy, sees the bubble, and falls to his knees. And he brings me inside and sits me down on this soft cushion and gives me some tea and sampa, which is like Tibetan oatmeal with a little yak butter and water buffalo milk. And I get to suck that up in some chai, which is like hot water on bushes with milk and delicious spices. And then all of us together get to go, for hours and hours. And I got so very stoned, very stoned. And I get up and I give the bubbles to the little kid Lobsang as I float out the door. And the head lama snatches the bubbles away from the kid and takes them and puts them on the altar. And it is translated to me that on high holy days they will blow 1 bubble for Buddha. Now can you imagine being a photographer from this remote going to this lamasery 150 miles from a light bulb, and you take a photograph for National Geographic of the skull cups and the butter lamps and the Dorji bells and the mandala, and you get back to New York and you're developing it, and you see this dusty bottle of fucking bubbles there. It would crack your brain. And I think it's important that we crack our brain 2, 3, 4 times a day. For years and years I wandered around, I said, "Oh God, I hope I don't flip out. I just hope I don't flip out." I don't flip out. Then I stopped and I flipped out. And now I don't have that to worry about anymore. After you get used to it, flipped out can be the most normal thing in the world. Yeah. Where's my hectare? Did I bring my hectare in? Anybody see it? Holy shit, I forgot my hectare. Do we got bags? We got bags. Would somebody jump on the bus? Is my hectare up here? Can you? Anybody see it? It's in a little brown case.
Nobody's got it.
No? Would somebody go to the bus and get my hectare and somebody else start handing out some bags? I'm going to do Harpo's ladder and then I'm going to bring back the vicious hippies. So I need my hectare from the bus.
Can I blow a bubble?
Sure. Damn straight. Hey, yes, while we're waiting. Have you ever seen Tom Noddy? In the summertime, I do this children's camp. I have 100 kids for the summer. And Tom Noddy comes up. He blows square bubbles. Ooh, you're getting juiced. You're pouring bubble juice all over. That shit, it gets on the linoleum, man. It's slipperier than Sonia Henny's cunt, I want to tell you. I'm sorry, it's kind of gross. I don't know. This is a little demon inside me, you know? So many things, oh, I do so many good things, I'm such a goody two-shoes, so I gotta say stuff like that every now and then, just to, you know, kind of, so I don't take myself too seriously.